Is it fair that I'm up here talking about fairness, something I don't even understand, and you just have to sit there and say, he doesn't know what he's talking about? Maybe not, but that's the way it is. Fairness is a very difficult concept to discuss. Its definitions take up 3+ pages in the Oxford English Dictionary. There are 11 columns of definitions and uses for fair and fairness. Even studying all these examples does not make it easy to figure out what fair means. It is very different from the other core values, which are always good to embrace. Here are some examples from the 11 columns in the Oxford English Dictionary. Fair of face. Does that mean a person who doesn't have a fair face is not good? Look at me, I'm okay, I hope, but my face is far from being fair. Another example. A fair day in battle. You'll be fair for one army. What about the other one? Or a fair wind. It will take a boat easily from port A to port B, or in our case, from one part of the year to the next. But that same wind will make it difficult for other boats going from port B to port A. That fair wind is not so fair for all travelers. And how about fair, a passing grade? If your grade is not fair, is that bad? Fairness is entirely different from the other core values. If one does not show integrity, that is wrong. You are doing harm to someone. The same goes for compassion, honesty, and respect. What about scholarship? If you don't exhibit scholarship, you're not necessarily wrong, but you're missing out on discovering the joy of learning. And that is what we are saying in our mission statement, which states we are preparing the minds of middle school boys. But fairness, that's a whole different animal. If something is not fair, I'm sorry, but that's the way life works. If you deem something as being not fair, it is not wrong. You've just found yourself on the other side of the situation. I'm here, you're there. Free from injustice is probably the definition people think of when they envision fairness as a core value. Can things be fair for all people all the time? Is it fair that we live in a beautiful place, surrounded by wonderful people, while others live in squalor? Picture this. Rory McIlroy tees up a golf ball and drives it 320 yards, and then retrieves it. No, he doesn't. His caddy retrieves it. And then he hands me the same ball, with the same driver, and the same tee. I only hit it 200 yards. Is that fair? That's just the way it is. Fairness is so difficult to figure out, and so many things can happen when one tries to be fair. Let's use a game of pool, pocket billiards if you choose to call it, as a metaphor for the difficulties which can go hand in hand with fairness. Picture this one. I'm playing pool against Minnesota Fats. A pool table has to be extremely level for the game to be played correctly. The level playing field everybody always insists on having. After a couple of games, it's clear that Minnesota Fats is much more skilled than I am. He is a man who has spent years perfecting his craft. What does he do during the third rack? He starts missing shots on purpose, trying to make the game fairer. He's trying to show some compassion, but I'm embarrassed that he has to pretend to miss some shots, all on account of my lack of ability. So compassion doesn't foster fairness necessarily. Also, integrity comes into play. Minnesota Fat's integrity toward the game is brought into question, all because he wants to show fairness toward me, his opponent. Probably the fairest thing for him to do is beat me 100-0. Would that be showing fairness? Not really, but it's better than the alternative. I would rather be beat 100-0 than know Mr. Fats was faking his misses to make me feel better. So you see, even if one tries to create fairness, it can be a failure. So here I've come full circle. At first I didn't know what I would write because I couldn't comprehend fairness. Now that I've used some scholarship to study the word, in all honesty, I have to tell you that I still do not know how fairness works. It is a core value so different from its 5 brothers. But somewhere in my heart of hearts, a voice is telling me to show some fairness and embrace this core value in all its positive ways. Thank you.